Alright, so welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. If you haven't checked out the previous video for this, I put up some gameplay from one of my streams, which you can always follow in the description below. I'm streaming hopefully 4 to 5 times a week at 4:30 Pacific time, so definitely check me out on Twitch or even on here. And this is of course the new set 11 skillless Gohan, in which I'm trying to break down the deck I've been playing for the last week or so, and as well as my thoughts and pretty much everything else that goes with it. Let me know the thoughts on the leader, what else you want to see in the future, and definitely subscribe if you are new to see more of these deck profiles and breakdowns. Now the first thing I do want to go through as I disappear here is the leader itself. The front sign is during your turn, if you have a skill or skillless battle card in play, it gains a 15k or gains 5k power, which is basically a 15k attacker, which is nice. It's really nice. You not only have that 10k attacker, which could be a 15k attacker, but now you have a 15k attacker on your leader, but only during your turn. And when you do an attack, you do draw one and then add up to 1 card to your life. So since it's optional, and the fact that you can self-awaken is really good. I think this is the first time that we actually do see a draw and then awaken, so that's always interesting to see as well. You do draw 2 instead of untap 2 or untap 1, which is something I'll go into a little bit later. But the front or the back side is activate main, draw 1, and then to play up to 1 skillless battle card from energy cost of 1 from your drop area, which is nice because I mean there's a couple of things that you can sequence or at least combo with this in order to get the max value and just make it a lot more useful. The activate battle for this is that if you combo a monster card, you draw 1 card, which there aren't very many in the game. We do play a number of them in this deck, but yeah. Okay, let's talk about the core engine for a second as I come back and with this here. Okay, let's talk about the core engine just for a little bit as I come back here. The first few cards aren't new at all. The Kidku engine with the 4-star with the unison is really good. So with the Kidku, obviously you play that turn 1, you try to thin out your deck as much as you can, you get a 4-star ball, and then the unison, you pay 2 for the next turn, and then you -2, you get 2 skillless from your deck to thin it out even more, you get another 4-star from there, and now you have 2 4-stars in your hand, 2 skillless battle cards, and basically a 15k attacker, a 15k unison, and then possibly, well, 15ks after you +1 for the next turn, but 10k attackers from the skillless, and then possibly 20k attackers from there. The reason why we picked these is just to be thematic for this one, but the higher dragon, which for those who are wondering why it's called Higher Dragon, not Icarus, is because it's the Japanese version or the Japanese translation for it. And I think it's a play on words because it's a higher dragon. I don't know. He is an earthling and a monster. So when you actually do combo with this guy on defense, you basically combo on defense. You draw the card on the awaken side. And on offense, when you do pass back to your turn, you draw 1 card and you get this back onto the field. So you'll always have this as an attacker, or just combo it again, just depending on the situation. So that way you get, again, that max value. And then we also play the Caulifla because of one of the cards that we're going to take a look at in just a second. And then the Universe 4 Assemble is just so in case you get those things removed or you combo it out or whatever it may be, as in they use Secret Identity of Masan or they KO it with like Dormant Potential or something like that. Universe 4 Assemble is really good because it plays skillless battle cards to cost of 1 or 10,000 power for you and drop or warp, and then you just play it for 1, which is just really good value. As you can tell, all these things, even though this doesn't have a specified cost, are very cheap. You know, that's the whole thing about this deck. It's about getting advantage while not paying very much, and the reason for that is because the leader inherently, and as well as the deck engine itself, doesn't really untap energy or have blue, and I think that's one of the advantages of this leader as well as the engine itself, that you could play blue if you really wanted to, like blue yellow. All right, moving on to the supporting tech, we do have Android 17 and as well as Baba. Both of these things are amazing. Speaking of blue, this is kind of like your bean, as in the 17 basically gets any of the 1-drop red cards, as in Baba herself, and if you wanted to switch the 3 vanilla Gokus or the Gohans, that is, the Sun Gohans, to red, you could play a skill list from there as well. But mainly it's going to be for the 1-drop Baba, and as well as just any other 1-drop red battle card that you could play. I actually recommend experimenting with the different 1-drop extra or 1-drop battle cards, whether it's the skill list battle card or the 1-drop Death Embrace. The Bulma that boosts up by 5k as well as draw. There's a lot of different things that you could use, but this combo has helped me quite a lot to survive different turns and as well as just continue the onslaught of 1-drops basically. Then we also have the Ultra Instinct Goku. This one kind of gone up in price because of this type of deck that got released, and as well as all the skillless stuff, shout out to Isaiah, becoming more popular and a little bit more competitive. This guy is a critical 20k, and you pay 2 red energy if you have 2 or more skillless battle cards or energy original power of 10k in play. And you don't have a copy in this card, you get to play it for that 2 energy, and then when you do play it, you get to choose up to one of their battle cards, ignoring barrier and minus a 20k. This deck doesn't really have too much removal, but this is really good for that, and you're gonna have that red energy if you're not going to be using any of the other red cards that we're looking at right now, like the Jiren. And then some extra tech that I'm blocking right now is that 4-drop Caulifla. I actually really like her as a 20k double striker, and that taps down an energy. All you really do is just use the Unison card in order to get a Caulifla from the deck, play her out, swing with leader or something else, combo her, and then now you get to tap down an energy or a battle card, anything else that is qualifier under that criteria, and then you get to swing for 20k double strike. And of course, if you boost it up with the Unison, now it's a 25k double strike. Lastly, we have the Jiren Shackles of the Past. I don't think you can really get to this point as far as ending the game. I think this is really the flex spot that I would say, you know, you can always take this out and add in a couple more red skill lists, so that way Android 17 is more alive. Or maybe another 1-drop red battle card. But if anything, he is really cool. He is the barrier card. You can only have 1 in the field, and if they have 2 or 10 or more battle cards at any cost, or 10k power at the start of your turn, it gains double strike, dual attack, and they can't use counter skills unless they have they pitch 2 cards from their hand as a cost. He's really cool. I haven't really gotten off. Like I said, it's a flex spot. I'm open to his opinions as far as this card. And then lastly, the remaining cards is the Topo. Topo is our only other real negate, Android 17 as well as Topo. I can understand if you don't want to pay 2 energy for these 2 cards, but they are pretty powerful. This guy's stopping a lot of different turns, or at least punishing an aggro deck in general. And just having a 20k attacker is really nice. The other side of it, having a 15k attacker and as well as a bean on your turn is really good, and as well as removal. I didn't even mention that. Baba, when you combo her, you get the 10k and as well, or the 5k, and as well as the draw and a minus 5k. So that's really good. And then of course, Hidden Power East Supreme Kai. You combo the 4-star balls first on your vanillas, and then you go into the Hidden Power, and now you have a bunch of combo power that they probably can't combo out of. And then Counterblast Sun Gohan is really cool because now it's a utility card, in which I was originally playing the new super combo, but all your energy needs to be yellow, and I messed up on stream, so I apologize on that. But this one, you only need a yellow leader. You have to have 4 life or less, and then you get to draw 1 card when you combo it. Or if they have 5 or more cards in rest mode, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less in rest mode and KO it. And of course, when you do play it for 1, you get to rest something on their field, so you can kind of combo it there too. I think this kind of saved me in the Dredge coup, the nuke coup that people are calling it now. It kind of saved me against the Rebrienne. All I really did was swing with the Kidku and then combo this and then popped it, and it just saved me that turn, so that way I don't have to deal with it. And then lastly is the SCR of choice, which is Baby Janemba. The whole concept of this is that if you go into the long game, as in 5 energy, you put this down with all of your 10Ks and your small 5K bodies, whatever it may be, and then they have to answer the offering or answer the 3 crit in life, and if they don't, you get a 40k offering guy with their leader being at -15, and you swing with all the skill lists and all the free stuff that you might have, and to end the game is really cool. And then lastly is the cards that we could consider. You might be asking, what about this new card, which if leader card is yellow and all your battle cards has skill drain and all that other stuff, right? This card is really good. I tried it out in the first variation of this deck. It kind of goes with it, but also it doesn't. And I don't really like it in this deck. It really just doesn't feel good, especially if you're paying 3 and usually on that turn 3 you're usually awakening, and since you draw 2, it doesn't really feel good to not untap energy after you play this type of card. So I would say, you know, go into Goten's leader, go into some other leader to try this out. And then other considerations, the stuff like Majora, where it has deflect, it has the ability to choose up to 2 skill lists from your. As far as the cards to consider, for Majora, for instance, it has deflect, you pay 3, and then the activate main is that you choose up to 2 skill list cards, battle cards that just cost 1 from your drop or warp and play them. It's just like the 1 drop that we do play the extra card, but now you have a 15k attacker, and now you can do this pretty much every turn for free that it's on here. Not having barrier is kind of annoying, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I don't really like this card too much because you do pay for 3 and your energy is very precious, so I would say maybe lean towards not. And then Piccolo Bat Omen, I know people are going to be asking about this. You take a life, you look at top 7, you play out a 1-cost skill list. I don't really like it because you're already awakening at a pretty fast pace, and they're going to be swinging at you. And if they don't, then you're really gaining value anyway because you get an extra draw every time that you're not awakening, right? So I think he's pretty good. I just don't really like it too much. It is really good into getting your leader to be a 15k attacker. I just rather have this at a different slot, or as a different slot. And then Pan is really nice. I really didn't find the room for it. I think if I removed maybe a couple cards that weren't really all that great, or maybe even Jiren, I think this would be really good in this deck. The fact that you get the issue with this, in my opinion, why I didn't jump to this card in the first place, is that the second effect is the most important, where it gains critical if the chosen card has 10k power or less. The 4-star balls are kind of null and void afterwards, because now it has a skill and you can't give that extra 5k boost. You can still combo 5k, but the whole point of the 4-star balls is to have a free 10k in your hand every turn, right? So I don't really like this, but it is nice to have a blocker, I guess. That's all I can really say. Ox King, making everybody have barrier is really cool tech. I just don't know where to put it. Mirage Shasta, you don't really see it because of my face, but you can kind of see this card. I'll kind of get away from there. It has barrier, and you switch this card to rest mode, and all your red battle cards are energy cost of 1 switch to active mode. So I only play yellow skillless cards, but if you are going to play basically a all red deck in this for skillless, then I would play this card, but I don't, and this deck kind of catered towards yellow anyway. And then we also have Ganos. I don't really like him as a finisher. It's 5 costs, and yes, you get to use the activate main as much as you can. Have an auto that basically you get 2 free negates as long as they don't remove it. But I think the SCR is probably better in this slot. I probably wouldn't play it at more than 2 anyway, so there you go. Flying Nimbus is nice to continue your attacks, but it's getting a little less good because of the unisons. But it's nice to pitch any of your skill lists, so that way you can play it for free with your leader. Finally, here's the deck. So the only card that I didn't talk about is this the 6-drop Sun Gohan and Higher Dragon. Basically, you pay 1 yellow and remove 2 of your skillless battle cards of energy cost of 1 to your drop, and then it has dual attack and 25k. And then when it gets removed, you get to send it to warp instead. You only have 1 on the field, which is why you only play 2. But it is really cool. By turn 3, you're awakening. You already have the skillless on the board. You swing with them, and then you place it in a drop. And then you swing with this twice for 25k, and then you play the Universe 4 Assemble card from there, and then just get back your skillless, and then use the Unison ability after that if you haven't already. But as far as the pros itself, he is a Self-Awakener, which is the first of his kind to draw 1 and then take 1, which is nice. He does have a lot of free or cheap cards. He's a 15k attacker, just like I was saying. The skillless engine is very vast, especially since you can play multiple colors. You can play pretty much any color that you want, and you have multiple attackers with pretty good hand advantage. I really haven't had, like by turn 2 or 3, less than 10 cards in my hand, unless they are going super aggro and I have to defend myself. But The cons are you have to draw 2 on Awaken, which is kind of annoying. Not being able to untap energy is super vital. The monster support is not that great. It's really only these 2 cards, this one as well as a Higher Dragon, and then the 2-drop skillless card that I'm not playing in here, because really the only use of it that I get out of it is to combo for a draw, which, you know, I can do that with Baba, I can do with a lot of other cards, right? And then Kidku is probably better. I didn't really talk too much on it, but honestly, because he's a black leader in the best of 3, I think, you know, when we're really talking about, you know, easy to counter as well as like competitively, I don't think this deck is too competitive. I think it is something that people can start playing and people can start learning and really valuing, is that a word? Start to value the 10k skillless engine. And honestly, I think this deck can add some more, so probably in that Jiren slot can get a little bit more of the skillless. It's relatively fair. Like, yes, you do get a lot of swings, yes, you do have a good hand advantage, but there's anything in here that is super broken. You know, that's my opinion. And lastly, green and red can be tough because they are removing your stuff pretty much every single turn. Dormant Legend stops your attacks for a lot. And then pretty much everything else in green and red is kind of annoying, but you just have to kind of learn how to play it. I talked about it on the stream, in which for Dormant Legend, for example, you kind of have to establish your board for cheap as possible or for free. Swing at those cards first with your skill list to stop the attack, or at least swing with your leader, and then, you know, hope that they dormant and then kill your skill list, and then swing with your unison to bait out anything else. Then you use your energy as much as you can to plan out your defense for a negate or for whatever else, establish your board, and then pass the turn with your board established. That's basically how I get around the green stuff. Anyway, go ahead and comment below. I've talked enough. Let me know what deck you are most excited about. Let me know what you think about this deck, and I will continue to put this out, or put more decks out later in the week. So I will see you in the next one.